So you wanna?
Yeah, get the juices out.
Shimmy.
Please, cough.
Sex. This is the sex episode.
Sex, baby. Let's talk about you.
Let's get that out of our system right
Let's
now.
talk about all the good things and the bad things that make. Let's talk about sex. Again, a little bit. Pitch Perfect was everything.
I watched that recently. I forgot what a mean movie it was.
Mean movie?
Yeah, they're like really aggressive in that one, and to a level I didn't really recall.
Yeah, it's giving sorority.
Mm-hmm. College.
I guess that's the point.
Mm-hmm. Well, then by the end of it, the point is that they're no longer treating each other like sorority sisters.
But then at the start of 2,
They are back at it. Yeah, because they got replaced.
but I guess that's how sequels work.
Yeah. Well, this is episode 10, so
The Pitch Perfect episode.
LOL.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Queeries. I'm Dylon, and Slayde and Ty are here with me, per usual. And today our episode is going to be all about what, Slayde?
Sex!
It's going to be about sex.
E-X.
XX. Sex.
And when I think of that, it's like D to the E to the T to the O to the hold up.
X. Shout out to Detox. We love you.
Yeah. So this is just going to be kind of our opinion, not yours,
Mm-hmm.
opinion on anything sexual that we want to talk about.
Mm.
That includes our sexualities and our orientation
Yikes and
and
yums.
our preferences and our dislikes, red flags, green flags,
Mm-hmm.
the mood setting.
Yellow
Yes.
flags.
You won't be catching us yucking nobody's yum.
I mean,
We're going to be yumming our own yums.
Yuck on our
and
own guts.
gooching our own gash.
Okay.
Okay, well, Slayde, why don't you tell us kind of, pronouns, if you do label yourself, what labels you use.
So my name is Slayde. I use any and all pronouns. I aspire to be a demi-romantic god.
Her.
GAWD because religion is fake. The actual sexual orientation I would like to label as, because we have labels in this world, would be either bi or pan romantic demisexual. So bi/pan. I understand today's language that it can be somewhat interchangeable. There's always the debate about whether or not that's actually the case. I'm not trying to have that debate here today. I'm just trying to say who I am.
What does that mean to you to be bi-pan?
So essentially, it just means that I'm attracted to any and all people in the same way that I identify as any and all.
Regardless of
person.
genitals?
So parts aren't really...
Yeah, they can definitely come into play because I'm human and have only had certain sexual experiences. But there are definitely AFAB individuals assigned female at birth, individuals who do turn me the right way.
Perfect.
And have wanted to slide in to me.
Oh.
And I just have been hesitant because...
To be pegged.
Well, not to be pegged, but more so to just have that sexual experience with a woman.
Be that intimacy with women.
Yeah, because my
Cis woman.
intimacy with women and AFAB individuals has always been much more platonic, but also romantic in that way. I'm very friend to women and always been around women and surrounded myself with that kind of energy with them, to the point where I feel as if any push towards sexualizing a woman is objectifying them. And because of how much objectification I saw as a child, I just don't like doing that to women, especially to men.
That's fair.
They get to get objectified. Baby, it's your time.
Mm-hmm.
You get to be objectified.
Taste of the medicine.
Yeah, and I'm sure you like it.
I mean, some people love the attention.
That part. And there's nothing wrong with wanting attention. We all get attention our own ways, and we all seek attention in different ways. I seek my attention through connection and vulnerability and getting to know the other person. And once we have connected on a deeper level in that sense, they can connect deep in me as well. Front and back, baby. We talking couples. But without my sexuality and gender coming into play, I'm just a person who likes other people. And some of those relationships look different. every single relationship I have looks pretty different.
Mm-hmm.
And I try my best to always work hard to have those different relationships and also fuck some of them.
Fair. What
Because
about you,
why
Ty?
Yeah, so
Introduce yourself to your camera.
Oh, yes. Ty, pronouns he, him, or they, them. My sexuality, I think, falls pretty well into, like, the pansexual realm. I also, I think, kind of identify with the sort of, like, gray ace spectrum, since, like, sexuality has never been very primary for me. It's never really been a solid motivator in people that I seek out. It's just kind of been a perk, I guess.
Very that.
So it's never been something that I'm ambitious towards, sexuality in any sense. But I think that if I had to put a pin on it, pin the tail on the donkey there, then I think that it would be sort of like bipan, like you said. I also recently have really started identifying and like implementing the term sapiosexual. I'm only sort of semi-researched in it. I just kind of like the energy of it. But
What does it mean to you?
to me, it's just sort of the attraction to the mind beyond the body, as in like sort of, it's hard for me to imagine someone as a sexual entity until I've fully experienced their sapient self, their
aura.
right, their like highest
Humanity.
mind. Not to say that like, because I also think that could sound a little snooty of like, I only fuck smart people, but like
You just have standards. Baby, look at the material.
I mean, but like, I don't even think there's necessarily like, I don't think smart and dumb is like a thing that exists in the real world. Like people are smart in their own way, and I enjoy finding out the different ways that people are intelligent.
Skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned
expertise.
gray ace. What does that mean for those who don't know?
I don't necessarily fully identify as asexual, but I have sort of the fluidity of like my sex drive is never. I would never say that like, or I wouldn't say that I am necessarily highest sex drive, or at least compared to like other like AMAB people, especially in the gay men space. Like I said, it's generally just not at the forefront of my thinking, and if it is, it's generally not a need.
It's not your main priority.
Right. Or just sometimes, I mean, I think that it takes more and it takes specific people to get me in that mood. So that's kind of where that's kind of where I fall on that. What about you?
Wow. Obviously, you know, my name's Dylan. I do use they, them pronouns mostly, but any, all is typically fine. I usually kind of just more so have an issue when I'm dressed femme and I get sir. I'm like, that's like the only ick.
Well, you can tell what I'm going for.
I'm like, if I'm in a wig and makeup and dress in heels, I'm like, don't sir me. I will. It's ma'am you know? And I'm like, not really, but like, I will give you the biggest eye roll because it just shows a lack of empathy and acknowledgement of, you know, to read the room and to like just go out of your way to, I feel like, misgender someone on purpose, especially with, you know, sir. Like that's a very
so
masculine, like almost as masculine as you can get term.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you know, I'm just like, hey friends.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Or I use she, her for everything. I call men she, her, even though if that's not like if, I mean, of course, if they have preferred pronouns, I will use them.
Yeah.
But like the girls and guys that I'm around, I use she, her with mostly all of them. And it's just like a form of like, oh, you're like my friend if I like she, her, you. And even if you are male presenting. But it's all in fun. It's like, you know who you're with, know the boundaries. You know, if you're a stranger, I would feel like, hey, what are your pronouns? But if I know you, I am going to rather call you by your pronoun or she, her, you. And then I don't really do the whole like label thing, especially for sexuality, since I feel like it is so fluid and my like identity is so fluid. It's really hard for me to label myself something. But I do like the term gay. I feel like it's multi-encompassing. It's vague, but also, you know, what you're talking about.
Yes.
So it just is a giant umbrella. If anything, I just feel more genderqueer, if anything.
Yeah, gay can signify just the joy
Yeah.
of sexuality.
The joy of being comfortable in my sexuality.
Yeah.
So
Because gay means happy.
tea.
Really?
And that's my story.
Yeah.
I enjoy the company of people who show effort, I guess. Not necessarily reciprocation. I would say it's more so just the act of wanting to willingly like give me rather whatever kind of space and time, whether if that is platonic or romantic or sexual.
Yeah, like that attention can be negotiated.
Mhm. Yeah, because I know they have their own life, shit that they prefer and things going on for them. And so I'm like, it's not my world. It's, I'm just a small part of it. And so my awareness of that is always like, yeah, just meet me where you can. And if you show me effort, I will give you effort. Technically, I don't have a problem with receiving effort from people. And I usually only give my effort to people who I feel deserve it. Because I'm not going to waste my time with no bullshit. And I don't know, I've just come into, a space of my own where I feel comfortable in my sexuality and my body and my relationships with people. And I know how I can form them to the benefit of me and for them. So just doing what I can, showing the effort that I'm willing to give for whatever relationship it calls for. If it's like a platonic relationship, then, I'm going to have more boundaries. I'm not going to be as like flirty or touchy or that thing. But if it's romantic, I'm going to like want to hold your hand and, kissy, or, just be in good company and conversation. And if it's sexual, then it's on like Donkey Kong. I'm verse. So, very fluid in all those departments. And so,
and you do love fluid.
I do love fluids. So, just, I really
fluid.
like to go with the flow and rock the boat of whoever wants to captain it, I guess. I'm more so of like the dom sub aspect of sex. Like I really like that interaction. I enjoy being either. And there's times where I feel like being certain over the other.
Yeah.
I feel like I really enjoy that aspect of, rather pleasing someone or like bringing pleasure to someone that wants to please me. That
So when you say dom sub, are we talking more like a soft core, like acts of service situation, or are you more into like the grit, like the hard?
I would say I like my
Whips and
sexuality
chains?
on the softer side, more of a gentle person, at least to start. I like to get rough, but not in the sense of like strangling or choking or spanking. Usually those are too much for me. But I do like the more so like the submissive or the dominant role of like, do this for me. Or, yeah, you like that, don't you? Or the yes daddy and the eyeballs and the submissiveness. I
power
like
dynamics.
Yeah, I like the playful like role play aspect of it too. Choosing like a scenario to reenact with someone, to create with someone, whether that be like their preference of let's do this or that. I'm like, absolutely.
Before we dive into the more sexy kind of side, I do want to talk about consent and have a little educational moment for the folks at home, folks with an X, just so that way they have a little bit more of an understanding, if they don't already, about what consent means and what that actually looks like. It's incredibly important to make sure that that is freely given, that it is reversible, that it is informed, that it is enthusiastic, and that it is specific about what you are consenting to. I just laid out the FRIES, whatever the
acronym.
There we go. FRIES acronym. I almost said something else, and it already escaped my brain again.
I think you called it an analogy the other day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did call it an analogy the other day. But it is a FRIES acronym, essentially walking through those
I didn't
steps.
correct you at the time because I'm a good partner, but continue.
Thank you for letting the universe know you're a good partner. Because it's true. Fuck. So when it comes to being freely given and reversible, it's going to be talking about those steps of like giving yourself to the other person through saying like, hey, I am okay with this, this, and this. What I'm not okay with is this, this. Like, yes, that can be very like formal and not always a conversation that's had before sex, but I find it very sexy whenever someone wants to have those kinds of conversations and tell me the things they want to do to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell me what you want, you're going to get it. That part.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Oh, baby. And my mouth don't like to close.
Oh.
Anyways, that also plays into that part of being informed and specific with those approaches to having those kinds of conversations. So like if we're doing role play, we want to take time to talk about what the rules are in that role play. Because if it's some power dynamic situation, let's not cross a line that's going to trigger the other person or like culturally have someone question whether or not they should be having sex in this moment or talking to their therapist.
Yeah.
So like keep it grounded to a point where like the other person is not going to be thinking about whether or not they need therapy the next day. Because that happens. Personally, I have moments where I'm like, I really don't want to do this right now, but we're here.
Yeah.
We're queer. Let's go. And I think that that's where that demi comes into play. Because like, there are definitely moments where I want to be having sex with people, but it always is certain people. And I'm like, well, I'm satisfied right now. Even though they're not here with me, like whenever I'm with them, I get the energy that I'm looking for. So I don't know. There's some enthusiasm that you need to have when it comes to sex and consent. And consent is not something that just plays parts into sex. When I was doing research on this, it also was talking about how actors within like their rights and within their like parts that they play, whether it be an intimacy scene or something like that, they had to come up with CRISP, which is a little bit different, but very similar in the consent world. It allows for there to be more participatory and considered options. So replacing enthusiastic and freely given with that considered and participatory pieces. It allows for somebody to actively participate by like saying what they're wanting to participate in, rather than like asking someone to be super specific about what each little thing you want to consent to. I think it's saying like, these are the things I would like to participate in, and these are the things I will actively participate in. Because sometimes things can go places when you're not necessarily wanting them to go there. And like you haven't given your participatory piece of consent to this area.
Yeah. Consent for me is a lot just based on communication. It's just the fact, like, if I invite you into my home to be inside my sugar walls, then that's consent in one way. But then, you know, also just having the conversations during sex, and, or just, you know, foreplay or whatever it is, be like, I'm going to do this to you. And, you know, okay, that works. Or that like gives me time to be like, actually, I don't know if I want to be fisted today. So, you know, as long as there's like communication during the act for me, I'm okay with, you know, it's not taking me out of the situation to ask a question.
No.
It's making sure that we both feel comfortable, especially if I'm the one in the power position, the more dominant position. I find it way more attractive to be like, yeah, you want that? You want that? You know, it gives me reassurance that I am pleasing the person. That's my goal. I don't want anyone to ever feel like a line was ever crossed, or, you know, maybe anyone ever feel uncomfortable, because that's been happening to me before, and I don't like that feeling.
Kind of like, to your point of like this framing it like, yeah, do you want that? Do you like that? I like kind of making it into like a playful thing rather than having to, like, because it doesn't have to be so clinical.
Like, hey, is it okay if I do this? Like, it doesn't have to be like, you know, a polite question.
Can I finger you?
And it also depends if it's a hookup or if it's someone you know. Like, sometimes if it's someone you know, those boundaries are maybe more so need to be enforced because you have a certain idea of what you have that relationship with that person already. But whereas a hookup, it's more like free and fun and allows you to be a little bit more freaky sometimes. But I mean, you could be freaky all the time, regardless of if it's a friend with benefit or a hookup. But it's just knowing the boundaries and having like clear communication with your partner.
And, you know, it's especially currently, because I've been looking into hooking up recently. Hasn't happened because of many reasons. But trying to be in that world where I don't necessarily feel like I fit in because I don't look for like a quick fix. Like, yeah, I can feel good, but then after they leave, I'm like, okay, I don't even know who that was. And I could literally have like 3 diseases and be shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Which is why you also have to have conversations about those things.
And safe sex versus PrEP versus, you know, like where you're at in your own, like taking care of yourself, because I also want to take care of myself. Yes. So knowing, you know, having like those things like listed or at least mentioned like in the conversation of like, hey, these are, you know, things that I'm doing to protect myself and your health. Even if they're just listed on a profile, that's most of the time. I usually just ask a clarifying like, hey, like, are you on PrEP? Or, you know, I'm on PrEP. Are you, you know, to just initiate that conversation of sexual health, because it is important, especially with hookup culture.
Yes.
So making sure that people feel comfortable asking those questions.
Yeah. This is kind of a random thought, but like just kind of like one of the few positive like cultural things that I think we got out of COVID was like the being able to list like, yes, I'm vaccinated, or like just being able to list like just sort of being able to be vulnerable or open about your like health status in certain ways. It allowed, I think, certain conversations to be had, especially with our generation that wouldn't have before. Yeah. Like, I think it's almost crucial at this point to be able to like have like some kind of status to, I mean, like, I just think it's generally a good idea to be able to like put something on your dating profile that like indicates that you're conscious about keeping your health up to form, if that's something that's available to you. I know I'm speaking from a privileged position there, but
I mean, it's not even like it's a helpful versus hurtful situation, because there's no hurt whenever there's just access to being
information.
Able to make information more clear.
Goodbye, Bucky.
Anywho, but where I was going with the Grindr conversation was that like my sexuality plays a big difference in like the hookup culture of the gays, especially here. I do not like to just like hook up with somebody whenever I'm on the app. Like what I've gathered is people get on the app and then expect to be hooking up with someone in like 15, 20 minutes. And I'm like, first of all,
that's not pizza delivery.
I'm like 30 minutes or less. Like I'm not in that game. Like I can't play like that. I don't trust people that quickly. So like I need there to be a level of like communication and conversation first for me to feel even interested. Like their dick can look nice, but like if they're treating me like a piece of meat or like trash and they don't even know me, girl, you got another thing coming, and it ain't going to be you or me. But that's specifically because I don't want to be treated like that.
Because people think anonymity means they can treat people however they want.
Yeah. And I'm like,
that's not the point.
Respect is given.
Yeah, period.
Yeah. And like, I don't want to, until you ask me consensually, can I degrade you or can I speak to you like this? Don't speak to me like that. Because like
I feel comfortable enough for you to talk to me like that.
Even whenever they don't get the instant gratification, they immediately are like pissed off. And I'm like, girl, don't get mad at me. You don't know me like that. I owe you nothing. Literally nothing. So like, don't meet me with the energy of like, oh, you're not going to right now. No.
Nobody owes you a nut.
No. One thing I have to say is whenever like if I am on like Grindr, and people want to like put a time limit on me, I'm like, why are we in a rush? Are you gonna fuck me in 5 minutes? And then like sometimes it just takes me to be like, slow your roll. I know this ass is fine. And I don't want no 5 minutes.
I know my worth.
No, I'm okay with, you know, a quickie, but my version of a quickie is like 20, 30 minutes at least. And even if I was to like hop on the dick right now, when I'm on the app, I usually am looking for like that time and place. So I can understand where people are coming from. Like, oh, I'm looking like right now, but not so much like right now as in like get in your car and drive to me after 2 like exchanges of like small phrases.
When someone sends you dick pics and then you like them and then they send you their address.
I'm like, no.
Or they say, where you at? And I'm like, girl, I'm at home. Where else am I supposed to be?
Yeah.
I want your address. I'm not giving you my address, queen.
The etiquette could be better from some people, especially the people who just want to have like a quick rush fix where I'm like, okay, like you said, not pizza delivery.
Yeah.
There's some steps involved. Like,
I'm a human.
You'll get yours and I'll get mine. Just let's have, you know, like 10 minutes of talking at least. Like, tell me like what you're into, like some of your pictures, like
and
a link to your Instagram or something.
Yeah.
Or even if you are DL, I'm cool with that. Just don't expect that rush delivery. Be like, yeah, I'm not going to show you my face, but you know, I have body pics, and you know, I'm able to say, hey, I want to eat your hoe out. I'm like, thank you. That's all I need to know.
The DL trade is another whole like level of like, I want to understand it, but I'm also like, you're on the app, which means somebody, people already know that you are this way. Just live freely on those places, because you're gonna have to show your face no matter what. So,
but then you also run into the people, like those DL people are usually like rather married or coupled with someone.
Yeah, there's like so many stakes involved.
A polyamorous relationship. There's like so many reasons why they could be DL and don't want, you know. And there's been a time and place that I also didn't want all of like my pictures out there in certain places, and so like there's been times where I've also been more secret, but not to the DL extent.
Yeah, I'm speaking DL trade that's like speaks to you in the way that's like, I'm only here to bust. That's the only reason I'm talking to you. If you talk to me about literally anything else, I don't.
But if I'm in a sub mood, sometimes that hits right. But again, it has to have some combo to it. You're not gonna get my address after 2 texts.
No.
So you know, it's just the matter of, you know, don't expect right now. Expect within 30 minutes. You know, like,
I'm like,
don't come out with that attitude.
Within a week. you gotta talk to me.
And if I'm bottoming, I need time.
That part.
To get ready.
And like, you don't know my health status. You don't know how I'm doing. You don't know if my IBS is acting up. You don't know what I've been working through on my day to day.
I could have had a hot dog today.
I could have. Listen, I had to literally tell a person because they were dogging me. He kept pushing, and I literally had to disclose the fact that I was off my antidepressants and like not doing well.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make decisions that will impact me emotionally, physically, and mentally when I'm not feeling that way, because it's not like, I know what the signs are of like these issues, and like being impulsive and making bad decisions and like inviting safety risk into my life. Like, I understand people are not out to get me, but I've had plenty of experiences where I've trusted, and then it immediately been met with like horrible things. And so it's one of those like,
just being careful.
Being careful. And I know a lot of people aren't that careful. And
I mean, we all have.
Not that it should be on you to avoid other people's predatory behavior, but
exactly.
Yeah, but we've all been like exposed to that. But what's a way that you handle it? Like how, like, or a situation that's happened that you've learned from?
Yeah, I mean, I just today somebody left my roster because they were too pushy and were trying way too hard and were like demanding things from me, and I'm like, as much as I love a man who knows what he wants, again, if you know what you want, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Also know that I have my own life and my own things going on. Like you said, like, you have to recognize there's a person behind the dick that you're wanting or the ass that you're wanting. And sometimes they don't think about that other person. And like, I can immediately pick up on that. And so I'm like, I don't feel like a rendezvous with you is the rendezvous for me.
And traumas also come into play of like, you know, having like stuff happen to you in the past that makes you rethink, triple think, like, do I really want to go see this person? I like noticed that you've said something that was like triggering to something someone else has said to me before, and I don't like that. But you're not that person, so how much respect do you deserve?
I mean, a red flag's a red flag, but like also,
But if they're so hot, sometimes I'm like distracted, and then like they get here, and then like sometimes they're not who they say they like, exactly who they pretend to be online, and then I'm like, actually, I'm okay with not having sex with you, and then I'm okay with showing people the door. I'm okay with not, you know, inviting someone in my home that I'm not comfortable with.
Because that's the R of the Fries acronym is reversible.
No is a full sentence. And, you know, asking someone to, you know, respect your boundaries is okay.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel pressed to do something for someone just because they're on the way or because you've already said that they can come.
I mean, it don't matter if they're wrist deep. Like, you can still say no.
If they have their pants pulled down and are ready to enter, you can still say no.
Yeah.
Like, there's at any point in the process, you are your own best advocate, and you need to always speak on what you're feeling and what you're comfortable with, audience, because don't let these men take control over you like that.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I tend to, especially in like the flirtation stage, I think I tend to follow other people's leads, which has gotten me into trouble, I think, more than once, because sometimes if my inhibitions are lowered, or if my like senses aren't fully about me, like especially like when I used to like party around and drink a little more, I would like probably go past the lines of consent that I would normally be used to, just because I'm like a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And I think that's a danger that exists for a lot of folks.
Some people like see that and take advantage of it because they're like, oh, this person might not tell me, no, if I try to do this, I'm going to try it first. And then you're like, whoa.
Yeah. It's because somebody told them one day that it is okay to ask for forgiveness, not permission. Baby.
Or they just have the masculine, like over, like hyper, like just trait of just like being possessive or
like that desire to be assertive does tend to cross a line.
I just love it if they would introspect about those feelings and the way they think they have to speak to someone.
But assertive men need to be assertive in the conversation, saying like, hey, I'm going to talk to you like this. I'm going to treat you like this.
I am.
This is what I'm looking for. And, as long as you're open and honest with that, then I can expect you to throw me around and, be a little rougher or, try some more freakier things that, I maybe have not tried before or, hesitant to try. But if I feel comfortable and knowing that you know what you're doing, then go for it. So don't come at me with no surprises.
No, we've already talked about several icks, but what are some of our turn-ons? What do we like?
The green flags. Time.
Yeah, what do you like? What do you like? What do you like?
Kind of tying back to the demisexuality that you were talking about, kind of. I don't necessarily know if I use that label like regularly, but I do think that I do have to have an existing relationship with a person before I can start to like I said, see them as a sexual entity or like start to build an attraction. I definitely have like less experience with the like hookup and trade game. I think I just burned through a lot of monogamous relationships in quick succession without being able to be fully emotionally vulnerable with any of them. And that kind of showed me like, yeah, I don't think that I'm the type of like, I'm not built to just have a traditional monogamous relationship with a singular being. Like I need to be able to find a different, like, I don't know, sexuality expresses itself in each relationship differently.
Very that.
And I don't think it's ever made sense to me to restrict myself to like one style of love or one person. Like, and these are conversations we had when we first started dating. It's just kind of like our philosophy on, because it's ever evolving. So I know your questions was like turn on, but I'm getting more like philosophical with it.
Philosophy does turn you on.
Yeah, true. In some, I also like armpits. Continue.
Okay. I also love some armpits.
This is why my arms are
Musk is a turn on. Just having the natural man smell, but like not BO man smell per se, like the rank stinky stank kind. More like, like I've showered today, but it's been a few hours and, it's just my natural man.
Well, I mean, that's biology.
It's just like a scent that comes off, but it's not like after
pheromones.
Like.
You legit will be attracted to someone based on their pheromones. If your pheromones do not work with somebody, you'll know. Like, so in male, I only know this because I was just recently researching pheromones. But male and female pheromones are opposites of each other, which is why, again, another example of opposites attract. But they look for pheromones that are unlike their own to find a better mate, therefore reducing inbreeding.
Well, I feel like that's also maybe a straight narrative because I feel like for gay men, it has to be different.
It's not a narrative, but those are facts.
then why do I like?
Yeah, then why do I like man smells then?
Breeding purposes. We don't.
Well, I'm not a breeder. Well, I mean, I am.
We don't.
But I'm not.
Procreation.
I'm not a procreationist.
We try to get pregnant.
We can try.
We can try as many times as we like. Unfortunately, this belly only grows because of a fruit baby.
But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely more attracted to like the more like quote unquote manlier smells or just more like woodsy or, like sweaty or musky or, smoky. I'm not a floral scent girl. I'm not,
You like to be the floral scent.
I mean, to an extent, yeah.
Gender neutral.
I like to have like that neutral scent where it's a little bit of both, I like everything down the middle, baby.
Yeah.
But for my personal like smells, what I like, it's more so towards the masculine side, which is why I more so tend to be more with like the traditional like butch guys. But my range goes from those to like otters to twunks to twinks to my body types really don't matter that much. It's more so about personality. That's a really good like green flag turn on.
I do think if there's anything in physicality that would draw my attention, I think I'm really attracted in general to androgyny. Just like things that are outside the paradigm of gender expression draw my eye and draw like I find that magnetizing, I think.
Yeah. When someone's expressing their queerness openly.
Yeah. Just being able to own your body and express it and
the confidence.
Yeah.
You find confidence sexy.
Yeah. And just like finding power and not having to like associate with the tradition of like sexuality, I guess.
I love putting on a corset, snatching my waist, and then them titties get a little more perky. And having little pasties on. I miss my burlesque days. I think that was like the most sexually like liberated I had ever felt was whenever I was able to like fully do a burlesque performance in someone's living room and like basically get naked and rock around on a chair. It was really fun. And like, I think it was because I was surrounded by women at the time and I didn't feel like I was exposing myself to people who could potentially want me as a sexual partner, even though some of them did, LOL. But I don't know. I just always put myself around women because it felt safer because there was less likelihood for them to
take advantage
and like push that like sexual narrative. Whereas I feel like if I'm surrounded by men, like I have to talk about sex or someone's going to be mentioning sex or someone's going to be wanting to have sex. Like it's just always talked about.
It's just conditioned into those conversations.
Yes. And
societally.
And it's not like a straight or a queer thing. Like it's just pure like male culture, which is fine. I just really respect women for doing something sexual without sexualizing it. Like I was doing burlesque, which is extremely sexual, but like
performance.
It was a performance. It was for the art. It was for like the empowerment of body and like the experience of being free within yourself and like throw an ass with barely anything covering it.
Yeah, I really enjoy passion. That's another green flag. Like I like when someone like wants to like grab me and just hold me and like make out for a good while and like all the rubbing and the kissing and the biting,
the rubbing and the hugging and the kissing and the biting.
Yeah, I like the whole get into it, baby vibe.
Yeah, when sex is like something that is very much an act between two people rather than something you're just indulging in, like a substance, like.
And I mean, whenever I have sex, I like to have like the stages of sex. Like I like the small talk with the little like you have to get a little closer because I don't know you that well. Like I'm a little bashful at first because I'm a very submissive person when it comes to sexual natures. Typically, when it comes to like come,
okay.
I'm not always a person who has to. Like, I really enjoy getting the other person to that point of climax and, like, witnessing that and, like, see, like, that will make me feel better than sometimes an orgasm will. Like, seeing someone else orgasm. That empath in me, I can really feel what they're feeling. So, like, when they come, I'm like, oh my God, my ovaries. Yeah, I don't need to come every time. I like to, but sometimes I'm not, like, in the headspace to be able to. Because of trauma and stuff like that, like there are parts of me that are turned off and desensitized and like sometimes are not active when they would typically be active.
Yeah.
But it's more so from a place of like, I'm not thinking about myself at all right now.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think probably those moments of like the acts of service aspect of it is probably one of the few, if only, moments that I actually personally feel like sexy or something.
I enjoy watching others climax,
Mm-hmm.
but I also like to climax myself.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, some people are like, okay with, you know, not always, but I usually like to. I like to, you know. So,
Good to go on with the
that's just me. That's my tea. I like to get off. I like to watch others get off. And just having the pure eusexua of the encounter is radiant. And I love just watching other people just nut. It's a very intimate experience.
And like it gives you that like gold star of like, I did such a good job.
I did it! Yay! Wee, look at it go! Oh my god, it's on the roof! But just the fact of, you know, getting your own gratification, but also achieving someone else's gratification is like the perfect like marriage of what it like my perfect time is. Yeah. At least the perfect ending.
The happy ending? Yeah. Very into that. Love a good massage. Love giving them, love receiving them, love the idea of them, love watching them.
I usually like them after. I can't do them before because then it makes me want to go to sleep.
Oh,
but yeah, what's y'all's ideal after? Like the moment right after. What's your ideal?
Immediate like towel.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna have goopy droopy all over me. So you know that's got to go.
It's towel, baby,
or shower.
It's not on me. It's in me.
Well, when it's not in, and when it's out or on.
Yeah. I mean, what goes in must also go out at some point.
I mean, that's a part of aftercare is relieving the children and letting them
sometimes
out.
I like to keep them in.
For like overnight, you know, just let them gestate. A gestation period.
Let the kids go camping.
Well, there's also different types of like relationships too.
Oh my god, I was gonna segue there too.
Oh my god. I mean, because I would say I'm into polyamory, but I don't currently practice it in like the traditional sense because I don't have like a partner that I have that sticks with me 24/7 or someone that I consider, you know, a close like romantic and sexual bond. I like to usually keep my sexual life and my romantic life a little bit more separate. For whatever reason, I find like dating people a lot easier when sex isn't involved. So like if I'm into someone romantically, then it's more so a lot more like the flirting and like the getting to know and the dates and getting to know them and putting sex as like a third date option.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm like
never give out
horny
first date.
And like I find you very attractive and it's vice versa and we just want something, you know, a night of passion, I'm okay with that. And I can compartmentalize like, hey, let's just get freaky nasty. And if we don't want to be like friends with benefits or, you know, maybe something romantic, we can talk about it. But,
so you find sacredness in the talking period.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of men, since they are in the mindset of quicker
look around and find out.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't want to schedule something. I want it when I want it by, which I get. I've been there. But for a romantic sense, if you want to get me like long term, then that's not something that I will find attractive is the right now.
Yeah, that part. I'm like, if you want a deeper connection with me, you're gonna have to give me the time of day to like one, give me the grace to take time to get there with that person. Because like it takes time, but also like let me breathe, but also like keep your attention on me. Find the balance.
Well, how do you handle other people's attraction and affection when you have a partner? Like, do you have to be like, hey, baby, is it okay if I like, you know, have a sexual rendezvous with this or that person? Or is it just implied that, hey, you're practicing safe sex, I'm practicing safe sex, just do what you want? What's the vibe like in your poly?
Yeah, I mean, me being the less sexually active person, it tends to be more case by case. But I think we have a pretty loose understanding of like, well, like we generally will tell each other like what the plan is if we're going out on a rendezvous of some kind.
Yeah,
but,
and like letting the other person handle their own feelings when it comes to that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, because like having feelings around those things is normal, and can and will happen.
Jealousy is normal.
Yeah, but there's also, and I find a lot of value in fostering that sense of compersion of being able to find joy in your romantic partners making other new connections, whatever those might look like, and filling their cups in other ways. Like, I think that it's a beautiful thing for me to hear when you are like making that new bond with somebody, or like are excited about a connection you're about to go make. Like, that's to me, like, that's heartwarming for me to be a part of and support you with. And I mean, most of my romantic relationships aren't necessarily sexual off the bat in that way. But I think when that has happened, you've been very supportive of the people I've been interested in. So, just kind of our sexualities manifest in different ways, and we understand that about each other in a way that I think that informs our communication.
Well, because whenever you describe your sexuality, I then take into account like understanding it first, not trying to correct it to something that I can work with. And like, I think that's, we take autonomy, and then the understanding of the other person's like abilities or capabilities in a moment. Informed consent is very important when it comes to like, hey, I'm thinking, because I am the more sexual of the two, but it's still very rare that I have sex with anyone else at this point. So like, whenever it's with one of my lovers, quote unquote, like, that is somebody who I don't have to tell you every time I'm having sex with, because
I already know that you're on an existing basis with each other.
Yes, exactly. And like, but whenever it comes down to like how we practice our polyamory, like, we've both talked about being a little bit more relationship anarchists in the way that like every relationship we have is individually like important to us. And I've always put friendships over romantic partnerships because I had never really had romantic partnerships in the first place. You were like literally the first person in life to like be the one to say I like you first. And that's that hey, I'm sold. Somebody tells me they like me, I'm like, okay, you're gonna make the effort.
She's a reciprocation dealer.
The fact that you were willing to communicate even like in that period, like, hey, I am going through this time with some other poly situation. I'm not going to be as available to you as I would like to be. And like, that helped me so much with my anxious attachment issues, and like always needing the attention of the person that I'm pursuing or being pursued by. I think knowing that I was being pursued, not being the pursuer, gave me the comfortability that like, you're gonna come talk to me whenever you're ready, because you want this. And even when it came to expressing love to one another, you said it far before I did, and you received it great whenever I was like, thank you so much, and I really I appreciate that so much, but it's gonna take me a little bit longer to express that level.
Because I've also been that person, like, that's like, not everybody, and usually people aren't going to be on the same pace at that. So like, that's not something you should ever feel pressured to say to somebody.
And I mean, I explained to you why I even just say I love you. I don't like I love you too. I don't like that. I don't use that.
It should be an independent statement.
Yes, I love you, because that takes ownership over the moment, and it makes you say it fully yourself. Like, I love you too just sounds like I'm passing that regard on. Whereas saying I love you
and answering it with I love you.
Or I love you so much, or love you very much. Just like, not saying I love you.
Just like, oh yeah, ditto.
Very that. And I mean, it comes from, of course, like childhood wounds where a parent was using these terms and I was supposed to be expressing love back, but didn't necessarily feel that at the time. And so was using it as a blanket statement, and it had no meaning to me anymore. So when someone says I love you, or if I say I love you to someone and they give me an I love you too, that triggers like, oh, that's a flat in my head.
So I mean, that's also just a really important part of being poly, is understanding each other's like love and communication styles beyond sexuality. And I mean, I think that's like, at the moment, I think you are my primary like sexual partnership, and my primary romantic partnership. Like, that's
likewise.
That goes without saying. But I mean, I also have like other like queer platonic relationships, and those have, personal and, emotional intimacy, not necessarily with the like sexuality, physicality aspect. But, I mean, I that's just like, sometimes you don't necessarily need that relationship with someone's body to be bonded with them.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's an incredibly beneficial part of the relationship, And like, I think that every one-on-one situation is going to be a different like context for that.
Yeah. And a big challenge for me in our relationship was like your idea of sapiosexuality, like being more attracted to my brain than my body. Because again, trauma wounds, I only thought about my body as value. Like I knew my mind was valuable to me and me alone. I didn't necessarily think about it being valuable or loved by someone else.
And that's not to say that I have no like value or appreciation for like the human form.
Yes,
but
because we know you do.
Yeah. Well, but it just has to be unlocked through that like process of
you start
your
there.
mind.
It's kind of where your love for a person starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Like where that feeling of attraction stems from. Mm-hmm. And like mine is heart based, and then a little like I would say heart, mind, and then body.
Yeah,
are my like if we wanted to do 1, 2, 3 of what we are attracted to first about a person.
Yeah, and then I would probably just be mind, heart,
body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are your 3?
Sorry, we went off on that question.
I was like, okay, the girls are diving in and they're really answering this question.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was nice to understand.
I was listening to Relationship Anarchy podcast all day.
I just believe in just, making strong connections, meaningful connections, lasting connections. And I just do that with, knowing my boundaries, knowing what I want from whether a sexual, romantic, or a platonic relationship, and knowing that people who are in any of those with me understand like where those like lines are and like how I feel about them, and because I have so many like queer friends I like love very deeply on a platonic level, and we have such strong bonds, and sometimes it's cute, sometimes it's flirty, but at the end of the day, it's always, you're my sister, or you're my brother, or you're like my family. So a lot of the time, I like people to know, like if you're in that realm of my world, like it's not going to be something sexual that I look for with you. It's going to be something more sincere and heartfelt, and coming from a place of me wanting to have the best relationship with that person as long as the effort is there.
Yeah.
And then in the romantic connections, those are probably the ones I keep the most guarded. I don't really allow a lot of people into that space, just because I have, people in the past that have not treated me the best in romantic situations and have taken advantage of me and my kindness and my willingness to be empathetic and to serve or to be served. I just feel like sometimes, that just takes a little bit more effort to get into, and not a lot of people, check those boxes that need to be checked for that. And then my sexual one is probably the easiest. I am very comfortable in my sexuality and the way I like show it and I give it, and I'm just very loose. I like to connect with people sexually. So for me, it's a way of like, oh my gosh, that was fun. It was kind of like a little workout, or a way to get to know someone on just like a fun level. Someone to have friends benefits with, to have like, hey, you're in need of something. Okay, I got you. I'm in need of something. Wonderful. That mutual reciprocation and effort with each other. But it's also no commitment usually when it comes to that. It's like, hey, like I'm not putting any like boundaries on like who you could see, what you could do. Like that's something that should not even be in the realm of sexuality, in my opinion. I feel like, you should always have your autonomy in sexuality, and have people meet you where you are. And, if you're not able to mix on certain things, then that's not the person for you. But, like I have standards, and, luckily plenty of people fit those. It's just, the communication of, hey, let's get there. Cause like I said, I'm into all body types. Yeah. I'm like open to most sexualities as long as, they find me attractive. And having different relationships with different type of people, not even just gay men, but I've had relationships with trans men that have taught me a lot of like different life lessons and like things that I didn't think I needed to know before. But having those connections and those ties and really being able to view the world from their perspective and like how they interpret the world and what's important to them, and like, oh, okay, these aren't all the same things that are important to me. It's nice to know that these are important to you, and then they became important to me and a part of my philosophy after, just because they're wonderful people, and I really got to enjoy the time I got to spend with anyone I have sex with. I usually don't put myself in a position to have a bad time. But, you know, some people can be assholes, and I've had some bad experiences. But mostly good in the sexual realm.
Yeah. Needs are things that need to be met, but we don't have to look for other people to meet them. We should be able to meet our own needs first, and then allow for other people to fulfill those needs with us or for us in certain aspects. Because I think that's a skill that I learned being single for 23 years. And being very independent after the age of like 14, and understanding that like I have to be able to fulfill every single need of my own for me to then welcome somebody else into my life to help me with those needs. And I've been learning still, because we're always learning, always changing, always growing, that I have to let go of certain things, and I have to allow other people to help or just ask for help. And for me, it's exposure therapy. Like I need someone to do that in front of me and show me what that looks like in a healthy way, because I didn't grow up in a healthy place. So like, if you don't know the healthy version of a conversation, I don't want to do the unhealthy version. So I'm just not going to do it until I know how to do it healthfully, because I don't want to risk the issues that come with doing something in an unhealthy way. Granted, does that keep me from taking risks? Absolutely. Absolutely. Does that keep me from enjoying things sometimes? Absolutely. Does that keep me from putting a smile on my face? Absolutely not. It does not. Because a smile is something that can change my day, can change your day, can change your day. And I think that that's where like, I like separating sexual needs from the rest of them. Because people who exist on a spectrum when it comes to sexual natures. So some people's sexual needs don't need to be met as often, especially by other people. Like I am very much a self-service person. I can fully meet my own needs in that regard. Do I like it when someone else can meet my needs? Oh, absolutely. Less work for me, but willing to do the work for myself because I would allow someone else to do the work for me too. And I see like the reciprocation shines through very often when you were discovering different kinds of sexualities that people have brought up and talked about, and I don't know if there's a flag for it or not, but you found reciprosexual, and you described that. You read it out loud, and then I said, oh my gosh, that sounds something like me. And then you said, oh, that's why I read it out loud, because I wanted you to hear it. And I'm like, that's tea. But it goes to show that it's literally always changing. Like, sexuality, gender, those are both social constructs that are on a spectrum and changing. Like if we didn't talk about sex or people's sexuality, we wouldn't. We don't have like, it's not a conversation that has to be had so long as we make it a natural order.
Yeah, like, and labels aren't always a bad thing. And just because I personally don't always enjoy using them or labeling myself as such, others find great comfort in being able to to have a name to something and have like a reason or
I like
an example for, you know, what they're feeling. And like, I understand it and I get it. I just feel like it puts me in a box personally. But for others, it opens. Yeah.
I like saying people have a role in my life. They play a part or play a role in my life. And that can come off as like something negative to some people because they're like, well, you're just picking and choosing who you want in your life. Well, oh my God, absolutely. I'm picking and choosing who I want in my life. What a crazy concept. Maybe you should be more apt about who you have around you in your circle. If you have questions about whether or not you're allowed to.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to be able to have standards around how you're going to be treated, as well as standards for yourself and how you're going to treat other people. I mean, that's part of it as well, you know.
And practice with the people that you already love. Like, right. And I think that that's where another issue I have with our community is that, like, I need the connection. I want those, like, I need the both of them to come together. I want the sex and the romance to come together.
Mm-hmm.
I need them to come together as one, or it's not going to happen for me.
And see, I'm the opposite. I'm able to
Exactly.
compartmentalize and keep them separate and go in with intention of this is what I want versus this is what I need, or
Mhm.
you know.
And that's a great example of like
Sexuality is different.
Yeah, recognizing
Not that
those
you're
needs
wrong
too.
for
No.
feeling that way.
Exactly.
You are entitled to your own opinion, and just like how I'm not wrong for feeling the way I do.
Exactly.
It's you got to find the people that match your puzzle piece.
Yeah, nothing is mandatory. Things can just be tools to help you understand yourself better.
Yeah. It's all about like understanding and whether or not you're going to put in the effort to understand yourself or the other person in the space with you. Whether that be one person or several.
Well, thank y'all so much for tuning into this episode of Queeries. We've really enjoyed talking about our sexuality and what it means to us, how we interpret it. As you can have seen or heard, depending on what platform you're on, the different views and opinions, and knowing that no one's ever wrong in the way that they feel. Sometimes they can be wrong in the way they express it by doing actions that are unhealthy. But again, that's your prerogative. And, if you find, whatever happiness and whatever way you go about your sexuality or your, however you approach your gender identity or whatever it may be, just know that there's grace for everyone, and to find the person that best matches you and just do it in a way that is communicative and, have those conversations of, this is what I want. Is it okay with you? And if not, then that's okay.
And understanding that you got this at the end of the day. Your sex is your sex. And no one else deserves or needs to know what's going on behind your door.
Yeah, as
Unless
long
you want
as,
them in.
As long as you're doing right by yourself and others, there are no wrong answers.
Tea.
Yeah.
And with that, we will catch y'all on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the thingies.
Pay for us.
Yes, go check out our Substack, our YouTube, Patreon, all the goodies will be linked in the bio. Until next time, toodles!
Bye, all. Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Ooh.